about physical space is that it holds the energy of your past experiences, even though those actual experiences, the ones that you live through, actually live on inside what you call your imagination. I call it my sacred space. I never refer to it as something imaginary because it is the greatest power in the universe. So I empower it to be the greatest power. I don't disempower it by referring to it as if it's something that doesn't exist. But nonetheless, these energies, they linger in residual form in those physical spaces wherever these moments or experiences actually happened that become your memories. Granted, the physical experience has long since passed in the physical, but in the metaphysical, it's going to live on forever. Once that experience has been created or generated or formulated or it has occurred, the situation, the circumstance, the moment, the interaction, the relationship, whatever it is, whatever transpires in the physical becomes an indelible loop in the metaphysical. So when you pass, you'll be shown your life review and you'll look at all of the things you did from whenever they were, what you were when you were 3, 19, 24, whatever it is. They all live on forever. Exactly the way they were. Nothing changes. I mean, I swear as God is my witness, literally, everything stays the same. The way it was back then, it's not, when you pass and you're showing your life review, this is not going to be a recreation or a holographic illusion or some sort of emulation or some sort of facsimile or, some sort of regenerated form of energy trying to pose itself as what actually happened. It's not a copy or a duplicate. It is the real freaking thing. That's why I try to tell you that this earth is not what you think it is. And it has nothing to do with religion, organized anything, Scientology, none of that stuff. That's all made up nonsense. That's all nonsense. But that's the beauty of wanting to revisit these. Like, let's say you were born in a house in a state where you don't live right now. So you want to take your family to go show them where you were born. The reason that is because that energy is still there. Those experiences and those moments that became memories, those situations in that life that you lived is still there in lingering residual form, in metaphysical form. The physical experiences have now transferred over into your sacred space, your imagination. They will live on forever as they were back then. But obviously, you can't revisit the physical in the physical because everything has changed. The situation, people, life, the world, it moves on. You grow up, you get older, you know how it goes. You can't obviously visit yourself at 5 here in the physical, but when you pass, you can. And not only that, you'll become that. See, the thing about source that people don't understand is it's not something that you can comprehend. Source is not something you can comprehend. I'll give you an example. If you're a mean person, you like to hurt a lot of people, let's say verbally, emotionally, or even physically, God forbid, everything that you do to all of the people that you're hurting, when you pass, you're going to feel all of the pain you've inflicted on others simultaneously. But even more so, let's say you're physically abusive to somebody, like somebody close to you. So whatever you put them through physically, what happens when you pass is that your soul will be transplanted in their body. So in other words, the experiences that happened on earth, like let's say 10 years ago, so those experiences are now indelible. They're going to live on metaphysically forever. Okay, but the energies of those experiences linger on in a residual form and they permeate the area. But anyway, when you pass, not only are you going to be shown a life review, you're not going to just be shown the life review, but you're going to go in it. You're actually going to go in it and you're going to have to relive these things again. And this time, since you were the person that was the abuser, your soul is going to be taken out of your body and it's going to be put in the people that you physically abused. And you'll be seeing yourself beating on the body that you're occupying. Wrap your head around that. And it goes much farther. Like, give an example. People seem to think like the Ku Klux Klan are going to burn in hell and all that. No, they won't. God don't roll like that. Maybe some of them will, but the worst ones, guess what? They come back, reincarnated as the very objects of the people that they punished. So in other words, you see these white dudes who are Ku Klux Klan members. They're racist and bigots and prejudiced and that garbage, right? So you know how God humbles them by reincarnating them as black men and women. And then once they feel that racism and segregation and prejudice and hatred and bigotry, that's how their soul is humbled. I remember once a long time ago, somebody sent me a video on Facebook, and it was a video of folks in Africa, and they were huddled around this water hole, and they had these wicker baskets, like conical shaped, like maybe 2 feet long, and you could see they were just the poorest of the poor. So I started crying, and then they were all huddled around a watering hole, like a muddy, muddy, muddy water hole, and then like in a circle. And they were there for quite a while. Then all of a sudden you hear this gunshot go off, boom, and they all converge in on the mud hole, the water hole, and they were looking to get fish. And that's when I really started to cry. And then God said, hold your tears and stop crying. They don't deserve your tears. Because these people in past lives were emperors and rulers and kings and draconian tyrants and overlords and despots and leaders of countries that were violent and cruel and abusive. And this is how I humble them. So do not cry for them. And I was like, whoa. I was like, yo, I never thought of that. So people think that, you're going to burn in hell forever. No, the universe doesn't roll like that. It doesn't roll like that. God has never sent a single soul to hell. They always send themselves. But if God had forgiveness for every sin, hell would not exist. That is true. It is a real place, and I'm not talking about biblical hell. It's a freaking real place. Imagine being in a place that's like a vacuum, sucking every last ounce of love and light and peace from you. It's just an empty chasm, like an abyssal void. You could just literally feel it just vacuuming every semblance of light from you. That's what it is. It's just pure evil. I remember there was a show called Celebrity Ghost Stories, where one of the celebrities was accounting that one of his friends that he hung out with in the old neighborhood was always getting in trouble. And he hadn't seen him in a while. So come to find out through his mother or something that he found out that this guy was murdered. And I think it was not even a week after he found out the news is this guy that he knew from the old neighborhood was murdered. He got a phone call. He picked it up, and it was the guy. And he was calling him. And then the guy that got the phone, he said he heard this raging fire behind him. And his friend was like, help me, help me, help me. They're trying to pull me in. They're trying to pull me in. And he's like, who's trying to pull you in? And then he said, they're trying to pull me into hell. But they couldn't, because the guy who was the bad dude from the old days, he had a little bit of love in his heart. So the demons couldn't just pull him straight in, because that love is what caused the resistance from him being pulled straight into hell. So it's not what you think. The road to perdition goes on forever. And I remember one lady said that she passed away, and she said she found herself on the side of the road to perdition, and she saw all these people with their heads down and these grim reapers on the side, and they were just crying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I'll change, give me another chance. And these demonic entities said, no, you had your chance. The life you just came from was your chance. Now march. And another guy, he said he passed away, found himself in hell because he wasn't doing good things. He said that he heard screams in hell that you will never hear on earth. Screams that you will never hear in this world. I'm sorry, I'll change, I didn't mean it, give me a chance. And these demonic whispers were saying, you had your chance, now it's time that your soul is destroyed. And I remember one time, another man passed away because he had killed himself. And he found himself in hell. And he found himself with Jesus. Jesus was standing before him. Jesus ventures into hell many times to save souls, by the way. Even those who have been deemed far beyond redemption, they have probably still some redeemable quality left in them. But nonetheless, this man found himself in hell with Jesus. And I'm not religious. This has nothing to do with the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, or any garbage like that, because that's evil. Religion is evil, and everything connected to religion is evil. But nonetheless, Jesus was in hell with this person. And Jesus looked at him because this person had committed suicide. And the universe needed him to fulfill his life purpose. Okay? So just follow me, and this will be over quick. The man who killed himself found himself in hell with Jesus. And Jesus turned to him and says, do you wish to see what eternity in hell looks like? So Jesus moved his hand over like this, like that. And the man said he fell mute. He fell mute what he was looking at. He couldn't fathom it. And then shortly after that, he found himself out of hell and back in his body again. And what he does now is he counsels people to prevent suicide prevention. So you don't know the universe. You don't know the universe, folks. I know you think that you read these books in the Bible or some spirituality tells you God's a fluffy white guy up in the sky. Well, one kid wrote one book. That's all garbage. You have no idea what you're dealing with. None. Not at all. Even Jesus doesn't know God. How could we? Source, divine consciousness, whatever name you want to use. I mean, after all, how do you create a soul from nothing? Or how do you create a seed from nothing or an egg from nothing? How do you create the first of anything from nothing? Because all of this came from something. I remember I used to have like debates with a lot of my family members. I was like, well, they would always tell me, I would ask them, well, where did all this come from? Oh, from stardust. I said, where did the stardust come from? Oh, from space gas. I said, where did the space gas come from? And eventually they would just run out of excuses. Yeah, because I can play this game all day. Where did this come from? Oh, it came from this. Oh, and I'll just keep repeating the same question until you have no answers left, because you will eventually run out. Because the truth is you don't know. And it always comes back to the source of all creation. And nobody knows. And nobody's going to know. There's things about source you will never know. Nobody's supposed to. So, I mean, that's it. But, that's just the way it is. And that's why I say I don't try to figure things out or try to explain things in a certain way, because everybody's connection to source is different. I don't try to tell you what it should or shouldn't be. I never do that in my videos. I'm just giving you a little insight what my connection is. Maybe it can help you, benefit you in establishing your own type of relationship with your soul and source and whatever you have as far as what you call spirituality or consciousness or metaphysical oneness or whatever, whatever works for you. It is never, never, never a one size fits all. It isn't a book on this is the how to and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all garbage. That's why it really ticks me off when they say you're doing the manifestation process wrong and you're doing your affirmations wrong and you're meditating wrong. I'm like, when you hear garbage like that, that's when you should just turn it off like a television and just leave. They're just so pompous and arrogant and so pretentious. It's disgusting. We're the authorities of meditating. Listen to us. Really? You have to have special clothes and bathe in oils and have incense, and you have to be in a room alone with your eyes closed, deep breathing exercises. That's not meditating. I don't know what that is. You have to assume that posture like they sit in kind of like an Indian stance, with their arms on their thighs and looking up, their eyes closed, and it's all nonsense. They just made it up. It has nothing to do with meditating. You can meditate in motion with your eyes wide open. That's why God gave you eyes to view this world, not to keep them closed and be blinded. Why do you think they convince you that you have to close your eyes when you meditate? Think about it. It's all made up stuff. It's all made up. You can meditate in motion while you're driving your car, swimming, or whatever you want to do. Like I say, make it up. If as long as it works for you and it feels right for you, go with that. Head in that direction, man. Whatever that is, whatever gets you through, it takes you to that nice, happy place. It's an individual journey, it is. But anyway, I wish you the very best. I just wanted to share these little tidbits of information. Hope that they help you somehow maybe clarify things that you're looking for answers for. I don't know. That's the purpose of my channel. Yeah, but it's never the premise of my channel to be telling you what to do, how to live your life. I only make suggestions, making you aware of things in the hopes that, it will get you to enlighten yourself and get you to awaken yourself and get you to bring consciousness and awareness to yourself that you are a part of the everything that is everything. And there's nobody better than you. There's nobody worse than you. We are all equal within the eyes of the Almighty. Amen.